Today we are ranking all of Kawasaki motorcycles in a nice top 14. We're giving you 4 free today. It turns out that Kawasaki makes a lot of motorcycles and we had to trim it down a little bit to make this video digestible. Right, Logan?
Right, yep. I mean, it could have been 20, it could have been 25. Cut it down to a nice 14, a nice even number, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, so some of these, if you don't see your favorite Kawasaki, it doesn't mean we didn't rank it. It just means that we thought we gotta focus on the good ones. Let's talk about number 14 on our ranking today. We're working from worst to best. It is, of course, the KLR 650.
Had to do it to him.
The KLR 650 found its way on 14th on our list today because we're looking at a blend of fun factor, usefulness, and performance. And it turns out the KLR doesn't have a whole lot of any of those 3 metrics.
No, I mean, it's a bike that's been around for forever. I mean, it certainly has merit to some degree if you're going on like a robust cross-country adventure in the most treacherous terrain where like only 87 octane is going to be available and like you only have a set of hand tools, maybe. But in the real world, there's a million other bikes that do the same thing but better. Lightweight adventure bikes, dirt bikes, you know, it's just kind of like a fossil, you know?
It blows my mind that the KLR received fuel injection as an update in the last couple of years, but this motorcycle still weighs something like 450 pounds. I mean, we have a giant single cylinder, but we have the same weight as a multi-cylinder bike. So I think stuff like the T7s, I mean, hell, even like the Himalayan 450 has kind of eclipsed the KLR. We think it's seen its day in the sun and maybe not the best Kawasaki for sale. So it ranks pretty low on all of our usefulness, fun factor, and performance rankings. It's pretty reasonably priced. I think in terms of a full-fledged adventure bike, it's pretty reasonably priced, but not really a whole lot going for it. Let's move on to the next bike. The next bike is arguably the polar opposite of the KLR in virtually every way, and I really hate that it had to go this low on the list. It's the H2. I know, I'm like, what? How did it even end up 13th on the list, Logan? What is going on? Are we just goofing on people? Are we just gassing them up for no reason?
It's just too damn expensive. That's all it is.
It's insane. It's insane.
The H2 might have other supercharged counterparts that maybe, you know, provide a little bit better value compared to the H2.
Yes.
But it is a very interesting dichotomy, the first 2 bikes, KLR 650 and the H2. It is Kawasaki kind of living in 2 different worlds at the same time.
Yeah, after doing this exercise where we looked at all of Kawasaki's bikes all on one page, we're kind of both like, man, they have kind of a crazy ass lineup. You know, nobody does it quite like Kawasaki. You got supercharged bikes, KLR 650s, the other bikes we're gonna talk about today, some that we yeeted that we totally even forgot about, W800, did you remember that bike existed? I sure didn't. Did you know it cost over $10,000? I sure didn't. So value for money was another consideration here, and the H2 tips the scales at nearly $33,000 MSRP. That's a lot of money, but the performance is undeniable. Supercharged, 240 horsepower, the absolute goated Instagram clout piss missile, no doubt about it. Of course, because the H2 is sort of like a Turbo Hayabusa style motorcycle, it's not very useful, it's very expensive, and we think in terms of Kawasaki's ranking, although it is iconic and probably one of the coolest bikes that they make, it's 13th on our list today. Next up is a motorcycle with serious race pedigree. 6-time champion Jonathan Ray piloted this machine. It is, of course, the Kawasaki ZX-10R. Logan, this is an iconic motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, serious race pedigree. You could also say serious daddy issues. That's literally what I thought you were gonna say.
You could say that too. The ZX-10 certainly exudes a kind of like, I drink too many energy drinks. My dad divorced my mom when I was 9 and I never really fully recovered from it. There are definitely some things about the ZX-10 that we need to explore. The one thing we need to talk about is the fact that it's half the price, pretty much, as the H2. But you're certainly not getting half the motorcycle. This thing makes well over 200 horsepower. It's got all the goodies on it. It's been updated. This is a certified Japanese piss missile.
Yeah, but yeah, it has no supercharger.
I know, yeah, so it had to find its way, I guess, above the H2 because value for money certainly put it back up. The fun factor, we certainly rated it lower than the H2, no supercharger. Performance, to be perfectly honest, unless you're talking about 200 plus miles per hour, basically pound for pound the same as the H2. In the real world, it's certainly better around a racetrack. And in usefulness, it is a leader bike, so you can't really do anything with it other than that one thing that it wants to do, and it's disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. And yeah, it's certainly fun in a lot of ways. Any sort of leader bike is super powerful motorcycle, but has a very specific use case, you know, going fast. For the average rider, going fast in a straight line. For the experienced, skillful rider, maybe around a racetrack.
Yeah.
But compared to some of the other bikes we're talking about, yeah, it's just too singular focus. We said it about the Gixxers too. It's not just the ZX10 that suffers the curse of the superbike.
Yes, the curse of the superbike. It is, you know, one that you must bear. If you want to buy a leader bike, you got to be about that life. And honestly, you either do it for a year, you live through it, or you do it for a year, you get horribly mangled up and injured, and then you never want to ride again. One or the other, boys. There's really no way about it. Let's move on to the next bike. Logan, before I introduce this next one, I just want to say I'm really happy that we booted the Z900 off of today's list.
Yeah, me too. I mean, a massive weight was relieved from my shoulders when I decided to not discuss it.
Really happy we're not talking about the Z900. But the next bike is one that I really enjoy, and I was a little sad to see it ranked low, but given what we're talking about, it makes a lot of sense. It is the ZX6R, the 636, the updated bike, the one we recently ranked as a B tier in our definitive sport bike tier list. Logan, why did this one find its way a little lower on the Kawasaki ranking today?
I mean, we talked about the curse of the superbike. There's also the curse of the super sport. It's a very specialized use case, ton of fun and the right applications for the right rider, but for usability around town, you know, it's gonna get old pretty quick. Certainly has advantages over other 600s in the class, a little bit torquier motor, but still very specialized. And you know, it's kind of expensive, $13-some thousand. You can get a whole lot of motorcycle for that from Kawasaki or from other manufacturers.
Yeah, so if you're getting for the special paint, the double R's, all the other whatever fancy stuff, this is starting to get a little high up there in price relative to horsepower and some of the other things you're getting. But again, as Logan said, if you are looking for a super fun track-ready motorcycle, also ride around on town, and you're willing to put up with the super sport curse, you can get it done. But there are better, more rounded motorcycles that Kawasaki sells. All right, next up is a motorcycle that Logan, I think, has a bit of an identity crisis because we saw the specs, we saw the features. I was like, damn, this bike is really cool. Then I saw the price and I was like, what on God's green earth is Kawasaki smoking? Maybe I should have some this coming weekend. Number 10 is the Versys 1100, an updated motorcycle, 4-cylinder Versys. Logan, all the stars kind of align for this one to kind of be like a budget BMW M1000 XR, right?
Yeah, the only thing it's missing to be a budget XR is the discounted price. I mean, it's still gonna cost you a pretty penny, nearly 20 grand.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a motorcycle. That you get like multi-strata V2 money.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I was floored when I saw the price of this motorcycle. I thought it was gonna be like 14 grand, 15 grand, 19 grand for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it was cheaper, it'd kind of be like a Giga Chad motorcycle, you know, big 4-cylinder engine, detuned for more usability, super comfortable, you can tour with it, carry a passenger with it, go get groceries, commute to work, like be faster than like a bunch of 600 squids at the same time. But then yeah, 20 grand, kind of hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And you know, something like this is perhaps where I'll find myself in 10 years. Something fast, something upright, something fun. It kind of blends all the stuff I like riding, you know, kind of take a Touareg 660 and a race bike and smush them together and you get a Versys 1100 or something like that. But man, hopefully my 401k balance is fat as hell by the time I decide to do that, because I just cannot imagine writing a check for Versys 1100, brand spanking new, the Tour de France motorcycle, the official one,
so that's why
according to the website.
Yeah, that's...
Imagine writing like a $23,000 check for this thing.
Yeah, it's definitely...
That's absurd.
It's definitely aimed at the person, the older man, a lot of disposable income, doesn't really care to even cross-shop. He's like, Kawasaki's are cool. I rode a Ninja back in the day, but my back hurts. I'm getting the Versys 1100. And maybe you can't fault the guy for that.
Maybe the collab there, Logan, is Tour de France, old dads with too much money, spending, you know, 12 grand on a new Specialized. They're like, I'm gonna pair it with my new Versys too.
Yeah, for sure.
They're printing money. They're like, these guys will write whatever check they want.
Yeah, I mean, it was nominated to be the official bike for the Tour de France for a reason. You know what I mean? Like they could have chose the. We haven't discussed
anything else. But the other one that's further up on the list, the other 1100 that we actually prefer, and we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, kind of can't really make heads or tails of the Versys 1100 at that price point. Really cool bike. Love to see the updates. Love to see Kawasaki leaning into that dad bike energy. And to be honest, the more I think about it, Logan, the lineup for Kawasaki is either like creatine-soaked, muscle-bound Chads or dad bikes. It's like there's nothing in between.
Yeah, or the kind of like limp wrist, outdated bikes that should have been sunset 10 years ago.
Yep, we're gonna talk about those too, and somehow they're further up because Kawasaki sells them cheap. You think Suzuki's are cheap? Kawasaki is the cheap brand. Some of these bikes we're gonna talk about later, It's ridiculous, the price point. Let's keep it moving. Above the Versys 1100 is a motorcycle that needs no introduction. One I've talked about a lot on this channel. It is the Versys 650. Logan, the versatile system. The absolute Toyota Corolla of motorcycles finds its way 9th on our list. How do you make this motorcycle?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like a Sigma move to an extent. Like, you believe in nothing other than functionality, utility, good value.
The Versys 650 is plagued a little bit by that 649cc parallel twin. It's just a little pedestrian, a little too boring, but as he mentioned, a perfect tool for the job though. Like, the Versys is like a shovel, just a finely honed piece of equipment that literally cannot be improved upon. You know, like, it is just perfect for what it is. But ultimately, I would not choose to ride one, if we're being totally honest.
But it's good value, super functional, super usable. Yeah, just plagued by that lame donkey motor. Yeah,
coming in at $10,000 MSRP, you get a very nice, versatile motorcycle for the money. But I gotta say, you know, when Honda's selling the, what is it, the NX 500? I think that one's kind of a better value because it's a similar thing.
Yeah, or even Honda Transalp.
Honda Transalp. Why get a Versys 650 when a Honda Transalp exists? Here's, if I may make a side point to you guys, if you're still watching the video somehow. This is what I say when I say, you know, some bikes are overvalued or don't make sense versus their competition. Like, consider what Logan just said. Honda Transalp or Versys 650. Come on, you know the right choice. You know the right choice.
I know the right choice if I don't.
All right, next up is another H2 derivative motorcycle. I have heaped praise on this motorcycle, but I have to stick to my guns of the total score of what we did based on fun factor, performance, usefulness, and value for money. It is the almighty ZH2, baby. Come on. ZH2, such a good motorcycle. I'm so sad you've never ridden one.
I know, I mean, maybe we'll just have to change that.
Maybe, yeah. Sounds like you're coming on to me a little bit, Logan.
Oh, God.
ZH2 is an incredible motorcycle. It is the naked version of the H2, comes with a supercharger. It goes like stink, and guess what? It only costs a little bit over $20,000. I think this bike is a knockout hit. But the thing is, when you start kind of scratching your head, you start saying, well, okay, it's super fun. It's crazy fast. It's not that useful, right? Like, it's big, it's fat, it's heavy. You could maybe put some luggage on it. And it is well over $20,000. It's kind of a toy motorcycle.
Yeah, like if you have that sick, demented gene that needs the ultra go fast supercharged motorcycle, a ZH2 is definitely a better value proposition than an H2 for 99.999% of people. But at the end of the day, that's still like a very niche segment of motorcycling. The average rider would have a terrible time trying to like kind of baby the throttle in traffic and stuff like that. But for like a weekend toy, for like a midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. highway roll racing bike, just sail in the wind, white knuckling on the handlebar, be a hoot, I'm sure.
That's how it goes. Every time I commuted with that bike back home from Miami Noob HQ, it was like I'd be putting through traffic and then I would like accelerate to just like get by somebody, and it was just like, it's like my eyes would water and I'm like, ah! And it would just want to rip me off the motorcycle, which is very fun, but in small doses. So ZH2, great accessory motorcycle in your garage. Definitely not the wife you want at home. This is certainly a mistress style motorcycle. If you want some spice, some fun in your life, you're looking to add a naked motorcycle, I cannot recommend it highly enough. But there are other better buys in Kawasaki's lineup.
How does it rank on the Tsugomi scale?
It's Tsugomis all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just Tsugomiing everywhere. And that is the one thing I don't like about the bike. It's kind of hard to look at. It's sort of like this acquired taste, let's say.
It's one of those motorcycles that already looks like it's been crashed.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, especially with like the side air intake thing, and like that kind of looks aftermarket. It's a weird bike. Yeah.
All right, number 7. It's almost like we're starting a list halfway in the video.
Yes.
It was top 7 forever, now it's top 14. Soon to know what the hell's happening next. H2SX, another H2 derived motorcycle. So we have the Ultra Sicko Mode H2, we have the mangled Tsugomi naked ZH2, and then we've got the Dad Special.
Yeah, the Dad Special, it's hard to deny, it is just simply more useful and like more well-rounded versus the other H2 models. This is like the drug addict who like went to prison, but now like he has a job, still has a couple neck tattoos, right? Like he's trying to keep it buttoned up. But you see him, you're like, you got a dark past, my friend.
For sure.
You know, that's the H2SX to me.
Certainly more well-rounded than the ZH2 or the H2 because you've got wind protection, you've got relatively upright, comfortable ergonomics, kind of sport touring ilk. You got opportunity for hard luggage. You can throw Deb on the back, hit the open road. It's kind of like
Deb will fly off the back. You just whip
Yeah.
if she keeps yapping in your ear, brother, just twist that throttle. She's gone. You're on the open road by yourself. You're done.
that's how you commit a crime.
One thing I like about the H2SX is that it looks a lot like the H2. Like I was actually looking at it on the website, kind of back and forth between the H2, and I was like, you know what? I love that they kept the same face, and it's got radar, cruise control, lots of cool tech on this bike. So if you're into your tech and your gadgets, your gizmos, your dang iPads on your motorcycles, then this bike is certainly gonna tickle your fancy. This is a pretty sweet machine when it comes to all that stuff. So yeah, H2SX, 7th on the list. Moving on.
Number 6, building suspense. ZX4R, the little Ninja.
The little Ninja, the baby Ninja, the baby ZX. This thing's sweet. So we rated this one pretty high up because this is a bike, there's very few bikes like this on the market now where like you can use like 95% of this bike on road and you're probably not gonna go to jail. You jump on an H2, you jump on a ZX10, even a ZX6, and you really start, you know, whacking it, you're doing triple digits, you're gonna go to jail. Dude, the ZX4, it's hilarious. It's like a Miata. You can just like flat pin it everywhere, super fun to ride. We docked it a little bit in terms of its performance because we did a lot of extensive testing with the ZX4 a couple years ago when we had it. It's really not much faster than the Ninja 400, as weird as that sounds, so it's mostly a novelty bike.
Yeah. I mean, it's got that inline-4 screen. People love the screen. Yeah, it's just like a weird scaled-down version. It's like the videos on Instagram. We're far enough the video where I can do, where it's like the little food, you know?
Yes.
They make the
Yeah,
little
the
food
tiny
and the little
foods.
cooking.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the ZX4 makes me think of. It's like the little, someone's like, let's make a really little ZX6.
Yeah,
And they
I
did.
think the pistons are probably like this big, like a little quarter.
$50,
You know, they're
yeah.
so small. So this motorcycle is somewhat reasonably priced, coming in at right under $9,000 for an inline-4 machine that you can flash and put a full pipe on and get that scream. That's pretty cool. Moving on.
Number 5, we had to discuss for a second because we thought there was an error, but it's not. At number 5, we've got the Ninja 650 and the Z650. We lumped them into one because we were already maxing out our 14 sections, so we had to lump them together.
This bike, I obviously do not like it very much. I don't like either one of them. But I think where it excels is the price point, and that's why it ended up so high up on our list. As we get further up on the Kawasaki list here, you guys are gonna notice that the value for money is where all the stats are being pulled from. It's why these motorcycles are ranking so high. Because it is kind of absurd. I mean, again, people say Suzuki's the cheap brand. It's not. Kawasaki is the cheap brand. These bikes prices are nuts. So for this 650, it costs $7,399. I mean, if you need the 650, the larger displacement, I mean, that's way cheaper than the other 650 class bikes.
Yeah, and for better or worse, it's definitely achieved sort of like cult classic status. Like it's been around for, I don't know, 15 years or something as a 650.
As a 650, yeah, like 15 years.
And then prior to that, Ninja 500. And it was always just sort of like the bigger guys starter bike or
just
first
a husky
Ninja,
fella,
Yeah.
you know? Just some baggy shirts, a husky guy.
But for that reason alone, like it ranks pretty high. Just once a week, someone in the Discord's like, hey, new here. I started on a 2018 Ninja 650, and they're having a great time, and that's great.
Yeah, I think from the perspective of it, just being out there selling bikes, getting people on two wheels, it's great. We think, as we've mentioned many times, better bikes in the category, but inside of Kawasaki's lineup, I think certainly a big seller for them and does rank pretty high.
So number 4, the KLX 300.
KLX 300. Not a whole lot of supermotos getting made anymore. And it was kind of cool that Kawasaki came out and they were like, you know what? Here you go. Here's a cool little supermoto at a ridiculous price, $5,400. Suzuki, take notice with your $9,000 DRZ 400. This bike, $5,499.
Very cheap. And yeah, you can get it in the dual sport trim, supermoto trim. It's always looked better than the DRZ. The new DRZ, you know, is more modern looking and stuff, but the KLX, in my opinion, always better than the old DRZ in terms of its style. And I think with that Kawasaki Monster Energy X Games kind of lore, you know, the Kawasaki dirt bike thing always just looks kind of sick. And yeah, they're a ton of fun. Maybe not super practical. They don't go all that fast. You can't put a ton of luggage on it. Can't really carry a passenger on it. If your commute involves a lot of highway, probably suck. But for ripping around town, hanging with your buddies, getting up to some urban hooliganism, ton of fun for sure.
Yeah, to me, this bike is sort of like an overgrown Grom almost. It's just designed to be a fun time, a good time. Maybe it's the bike you learn on and you just kind of throw it on the ground like a Huffy bike at your buddy's house or something like that. Just wanton abandon with this motorcycle. I mean, a bike costing under $5,500 in 2025 from the Big Four is pretty nuts. And yeah, it's fuel injected, punchy single cylinder, good fun to ride. We think it's definitely one of the better bikes Kawasaki's making, and I love to see cheaper bikes to get more people into riding. Number 3.
Ninja 1100 SX.
I love this bike. I love this bike. I love the price point. I love the vibe. I love that Kawasaki is doing something like this because not many people are. Everyone's doing the damn tall rounders, Tour de France Versys 1100s, or the damn multi-stratas. This is a real deal sport bike that's just a little bit more comfortable, and that's really cool.
So yeah, like the Ninja 1100 and previously the Ninja 1000, you know, the Ninja without the ZX moniker, right? Like that is really what dad bikes were intended to be before BMW and KTM started convincing everybody they needed to be the next Obi-Wan Kenobi on some world, continent crossing adventures.
Yes.
You could just, a dad would just get a sport touring bike. Has fairings, detuned engine, more comfortable to ride, still says Ninja. Pretty sweet. Everyone's trying too hard now.
Yeah, I think that this motorcycle is, like Logan said, a bit of a relic of a bygone era, but done in such a nice new way. They've recently updated this model. It's got that new 1099cc inline 4 detuned, but still definitely a ripper. And the price, it's $13,000 for this thing, $13,699 for the Ninja 1100. I mean, there's a lot to like. It's a sort of motorcycle that I could even make the case for myself. If I wasn't, you know, a wannabe adventure dad, I'd be like, why don't I be a Ninja 1100 dad? Like, that's pretty sweet, you know? Like, it's comfortable, it's fun.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of symbolic too. Like, with so many companies, you're seeing move away from just fully fared sport bikes in general, specifically like kind of inline 4 sport bikes. And Kawasaki's out here like, we're just gonna sell 2 1,000 or 1,000 cc plus sport bikes just for completely different things. And the fact that they even have the bandwidth to do that is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive seeing Kawasaki make, like Logan said, 2 seemingly similar bikes for almost like laser thin different dads, right? You have the dad that still wants to go fast and the dad that wants to be the Tour de France tall dad. And there's just like so many dads out there. So you can be an adventure dad, simple Versys 650 dad. That's what I was saying, like the Kawasaki thought process is like, we're either gonna make insanely fast, stupid motorcycles or dad bikes, nothing in between, and a couple beginner bikes. That's it, you know? And is there anything more Kawasaki than that? I don't think so.
Nuclear reactors.
They do that as well. Yeah, Kawasaki Heavy Industries, look it up. Their motorcycle business is like frosting on top to them, which is pretty cool.
Side project.
Logan, they've waited the whole video for this. We juked them out in the beginning.
I know.
What's number 2, Logan? What could it possibly be?
Might not believe it. Z900.
Z900. I am very happy to see that high up. And you know what? Have your day in the sun, Z900 owners, because in a vacuum, if you only look at Kawasaki's lineup, this bike's pretty sweet. Comes at a great price point, has a nice engine, has some nice features, got a lot to like about it.
Yeah, the thing, anytime we rustle the feathers of a Z900 owner, they always say, but it's such good value for money. And we put it in the spreadsheet, turns out they're right. You know, because it's what, like 120 horsepower or something like that?
Yeah, it's like 125 ponies for under 10 grand. Yeah, I get it, you know?
Yeah.
But again, now that the Hornet SP exists, I think that argument kind of starts to go out of the window a little bit. You say, well, I got my inline 4 Scream, 125 ponies for under 10 grand. I'm like, okay, well, spend 10.5 or whatever and get a Honda that makes like 150. So to me, that argument doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, in the pantheon of Kawasaki motorcycles, of all the bikes that they sell, it's indisputable. This is a great bike.
Yeah, cheap, usable, fun enough for like an intermediate rider, someone with a little bit of experience, but not so scary or impractical that it's a pain in the butt to use on the day-to-day.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of falls into that sweet spot of power and usability, super cheap. The owners are kind of weird. They're not even watching anymore because we juked them out, so they skipped off. But
I didn't see the end of the video here.
But we're not ranking the owners, we're ranking the bikes.
That's true. That's true. Don't forget that. Don't forget that, like, we're talking about the bikes, not you. It's okay. It's okay. I want somebody to give you a hug, man. If you're out there leaving mean comments on YouTube, I hope somebody hugs you today. And I hope somebody tells you they love you and that you're important to them and that you matter. You matter. You made a terrible choice buying a Z900, but you matter. So yeah, it's a good bike. It's pretty good. Hard to say no. This is it. The best Kawasaki for sale. Ninja 500 Z500. There it is. Boom.
There it is.
There it is. I mean, can you legitimately stake the claim that there's a better bike that Kawasaki sells right now? I doubt it. This bike and this like family of motorcycles, starting from the Ninja 300, where they first went to bat against the what was it, the CBR 250R? I guess they had they did the 300 and the Ninja 250. Kawasaki has been selling small displacement beginner sport bikes since
like the 80s.
Since the 80s, man. Before all of us were born. There's only 23-year-olds watching at this point. So all of us were so young, you know, back then in the 80s. And I know some of you watching remember the 80s, but I wasn't born yet, so I don't know it. But Kawasaki's been doing this forever. They basically invented the category. The Ninja 500 is awesome. The Z500 is awesome. Great price point. I love these bikes. Love them.
Yeah, and they're great. And it's like one of the more sensible, you know, Kawasaki's, right? The Kawasaki owner, rider has the reputation of, you know, someone who maybe didn't have a father figure in their life or whatever. But the Ninja 500 is like the sensible, smart beginner option, not too expensive. You can get a ton of fun out of it. Tons of people that start on them end up keeping them for like track days or just honing their skills like on twisty roads and stuff. It's approachable, but it's fun. Hard to beat it, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's so many riders throughout the last 15 years that started on Ninja 300s and 400s and cut their teeth and moved up to 600s and have enjoyed motorcycling for all that time. I count myself among them. I started on a Yamaha R3, but I took a really long, hard look at that Ninja 300 back in the day when they were both available. So just props to Kawasaki for keeping this category alive, being arguably one of the leaders in the category. Yes, it does have a 180-degree parallel twin, and that is a bit different than the stuff that's on sale today with the new 270 cranks and all that, but we still think it is ultra reliable, ultra well executed, really great platform, and yeah, it's number one on the list. That's the best Kawasaki money buys in 2025.
Which one would you buy?
That Ninja 1100 SX is looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at the price, I was looking at the specs, so it's pretty sweet. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, price aside, I'd probably get the Versys 1100. It seems like kind of a like a Sigma flex. Like, I don't care how lame it is, but it's like very functional.
I've been kind of thinking about bikes like that more and more, because like sometimes on the highway with the Touareg, I'm like, I wish I just had like twice as much juice, because I'm a speed freak DJ.
And just like 17-inch wheels.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah. Well, boys, thanks for watching today's video. Those are Kawasaki's motorcycles ranked according to our opinion. What do you think? Leave us a comment down below if we missed your favorite motorcycle. Again, there's a lot of bikes that they sell. We wanted to keep this list digestible for you today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.